welcome back. Sorry about the hiccups. Hopefully it's sorted now. So we're just going to wait for our guests to join in, and then we can begin. Okay. Right. Yeah. Here. Clapping for because I'm happy.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, sis.
Finally, we are here.
Well,
Thank you.
There's a bit of a lag in the video feed. We can't see you yet, but we can hear you loud.
I'm sorry about that.
Thank you for
Is this
joining
better?
us today.
Is this better?
Thank you, ma'am. Well, not yet. It's still is loading. Abby? Yeah, that's the word.
Oh.
It's rotating. So I guess it's working on it.
Oh.
It's working on
uploading the video.
Yes. The video is taking its sweet time. Okay. While we wait for that, we can start so that we make the most of the time that we have. I hope that's fine.
That's fine. I'm here. I'm nice. But
Okay.
All
all right.
Yeah.
So, why would you say healthy self-esteem is important in raising girls?
Okay. Allow me to quote John and Stacey Eldridge. You know, they said when a woman knows that she's loved and loved deeply, then she glows from the inside. I want to add that, you know, that glow, that radiance is actually expressed as self-esteem. It is expressed as, you know, confidence. Questions that she asked herself, the girl asked herself, am I lovely? Am I wanted? Am I worth fighting for? Do I have value? Am I valuable to other people? And you know, when she's able to answer in the affirmative, the result is that there's a feeling of self-value, of self-respect, of self-liking, of self-love. And the end result, you know, is self-confidence and having a healthy self-esteem. So when girls who will grow into adolescence, you know, and ladies have the real deal, why would they go looking for something inferior or in the wrong places? So in essence, what we are saying is that self-esteem, you know, gives the child, the girl, the confidence that they can be the best in their chosen field. They can do anything they want to do. And if they have respect for themselves, and they will have respect for themselves, then they will demand respect of other people. Just like you were saying earlier, they don't see themselves as second-class citizens. They don't see themselves as second to any man anywhere. They are confident in themselves. So that confidence is very important if the girl child is going to be all, you know, that she can be.
Amazing, wonderful. Thank you so much, ma'am. Self-esteem basically gives a girl child license to pursue.
Yeah.
She has the license to do anything that she wants. She wants it, she goes after it. There's no self-limiting beliefs anywhere. There's no setbacks, at least from herself.
Yeah.
And then she's able to dream and pursue those dreams. That's fantastic. So as a girl mom, I know you have 2 daughters of yourself. As a girl mom, have you at any time observed a drop, right, in self-esteem in your girls, or maybe a lack of it at any time? Have you any time experienced this? Did something happen that that probably resulted in this? And what did you do about it?
You want to hear stories? Okay, so here we go. All of us have been
Yeah.
there. You have been there. I have been there. As a
Yeah.
young girl growing into a woman, and so we've had experiences with our own self-esteem. We've had experiences with our own self-confidence when we were not sure of who we were, and we needed other people to validate us, other people to believe in us
Right.
first, before we believe in ourselves. So self-esteem grows. And so for every child, look at self-esteem as stages of growth. Okay, so I'll share a few stories. Um, Back in the days when we used to have this telephones, that
Mm-hmm.
those landlines, when they were the in thing, and so you had different extensions in the house. There was a call that came into the house, and I picked the telephone
Yeah.
downstairs, and unknown to me, my dad had picked the extension upstairs. So I thought at the time
Yeah.
that I was the only one on the phone who had answered the call. And I answered the call, and to my surprise, the caller at the other end was very rude. But I didn't reply him in his own vein. I was very calm and very respectful, and I calmly told him he had the wrong number. And after saying that, I
Mm.
gently dropped the telephone. So I thought I was the only one who knew about this encounter. But guess what happened? My dad called me a few minutes later and said, just as he picked the phone downstairs, I also answered it upstairs. And I heard, that caller being rude to you. But I didn't have to say anything because I knew that you were able, and that you were capable and that you will answer the caller without being rude. You know what
Mm.
it did to me? It gave me more confidence in myself. Why? Because my dad had
Mm.
shown that he trusted in my abilities. I'll
Right.
share another story. I was in university at this time, and I'm not sure. I think I had gone to run an errand or something, and I was coming in a little late. So just as I came in, I met my dad seeing off a guest by his car, and the guest asked loudly to my hearing, "Oh, who's this young lady approaching?" And my dad's response was, let's be patient. Let's watch. When the person approaches, she will manifest, or she will manifest whoever it is that she is. And I thought that was funny because he could have easily said yes or no. But you see, hearing his
Mm.
response made me feel loved. I knew he wanted me to come to him and hug him and say, "Daddy, I'm home," or or something like that. And that's exactly what I did. But you see, what it did was give me confidence in my father's love, for me.
Mm.
Yeah. So that was pride. He was showing pride and confidence at the same time, and confidence that I would express myself appropriately. He gave me permission to express myself appropriately, and that built my self-esteem. The third
Mm.
story that I want to share is that of myself in training. Now, not no longer as a girl, but as a young lady in training. I was training to be a consultant, and I was, I had a lot of academic gurus around me. I had a lot of senior doctors who knew far more than I ever thought I would know. And I felt intimidated in their presence, really intimidated. If you want to put it in a local parlance, you could say that my knowledge and my skill, they needed encouragement. But yeah, at that time there was this a mentor, a professor
Mm.
who often expressed confidence in my abilities. He was so sure that I would excel, and he consistently said so. And whether other people were there or if it was just me, he would say a lot of things to push me. But when other people were there, he always expressed confidence in my skills, in my abilities. And so I started believing in his confidence. you know, Believing in his confidence of my abilities and of my future achievements. But in time, I was able, to believe in myself. So what did he do for me? he helped to build my estimation, my value of myself. So that I'm talking from the perspective of a girl, of a young lady. So
Right.
let me come down to the girls. This first one is very personal, but I'll share it because I know that it will help someone. When our first daughter was involved in an accident, you know, she had a scar on her face that was, we were not prepared to have that accident. We didn't ask for it, and we certainly didn't ask for the outcome. But here we were. We had to deal with it. And I noticed that whenever we went into any public place, people would look around, look at her, and some people were bold enough to come and say, "Oh, what happened to you?" And you know how children are. They are so innocent, and they say things, they mean, they ask questions, and we had a lot of that. But you know, I didn't really mind the children, but some of the adults, I felt they could be a little bit more sensitive. They were not that. So I just told myself, this daughter, you know, is going to be able to handle this the way I handle it. She's going to watch me and handle it the way she sees me handle it. So at that point in time, I told myself, I'm her champion, I'm her bodyguard. You know, if you're going to get to her, you're going to get through to me first. You know, I'll be her confidence builder in my words, in my actions. And, you know, there was a lot of that. I had to do a lot of reinforcement, telling her over and again how beautiful she was inside and outside, you know, and all of that. And I perceive that some of us need to adopt that attitude. Sometimes you have girls that have a poor body image. These girls feel that they are too short, they are too fat, they are too thin, they are too whatever. We need to be able to tell them over and again in our words and in our actions that they are beautiful, they are fine just the way they are. Some of them struggle at school. Some of them are compared with other contemporaries again and again, even when we are not aware. So you see, they need to be able to hear our voices, instilling confidence in them, our voices egging them on, urging them on, telling them that we believe in them. Some girls deal with a chronic health condition and they wonder, why am I different from other girls? Why do I have to have this injection every day of my life? Or why do I have to be on medication? Or why do I have to have this kind of treatment? You know, there's always something or the other. So for those girls, we need to be their strength. They need to be able to draw strength from us. And in drawing strength from us, they are able to have a value, you know, a sense of self-value, a sense of self-worth, a sense of self-esteem. The same applies to the girl who is timid or shy and doesn't want to see anything in public. We have to keep encouraging the girl. Let her hear good words from us. Let her know that she is valued. When she knows that she is valued, that we value her, she, you know, will then value herself later. Now, you know what happens during sporting competitions and all that. And, you know, why do we cheer people on? We cheer them because we know that when they hear our voices, they will perform better. Sometimes they even outdo themselves because they know that they have people, you know, they have this cloud of witnesses all around them, you know, and I can easily relate to this. I remember when our second daughter was going to engage in a swimming competition, and she just was not sure of her abilities. But, you know, she knew that her family was all around her. Her mom, her dad, her sister, her brother, everybody was cheering her on. And when it was time to actually do the swimming competition to see who could swim fastest, our voices were loud. We were cheering her, go, 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 go. You can do it. Go, go, keep going, keep going. And well, eventually she got a trophy. It wasn't for first place, but, you know, she got the trophy. So this is a girl that started not being sure of her abilities, but because she saw that her family gave her that much support and were all around her, urging her on, egging her on, her confidence, her value, her self-esteem, the vision of herself that she was seeing changed. So these are, you know, the experiences, and we can learn from them.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I want to ask specifically now, what are the pitfalls that parents can look out for? What are the things that they must not to do so that they don't jeopardize their daughter's self-esteem? So is it, I don't know, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but what are those specific things that they have to ensure that they don't do to these children?
Yeah.
If their goal is to build healthy self-esteem.
All right. So the things on the absolutely don't do list. Okay. A few of them that I can share. One of them is not to compare your daughter, your word, to another. Everybody is unique. And everybody is beautiful. Yeah, some of us express outer beauty more than others. But you see, we can all have this inner beauty. And like the good book tells us, that beauty fades. So no matter how beautiful one is, it fades away. But you know, the charm, the value inside, the heart, you can build it and make it more beautiful. So you want to make every girl believe that they're a princess. A princess in the sense that they are valued, they are cherished for who they are. You want to pass the message across that you are valuable. You are enough. You don't have to compare yourself with a person A or girl B or a model or a superstar. You are beautiful, you know, the way that you are. Now, the second thing that I want to talk about is not to make all her choices for her. Yeah. Okay. So the girl child should be allowed to make some choices. Certainly, there are areas that have to do with life or death. So in such circumstances, you definitely make the choice. Don't go to the road because you don't know how to cross safely yet. Don't put your hand in fire because you will be burned. Don't go near the swimming pool because you have no idea of how to swim and you can drown. In those cases, absolutely, you make the decisions for them. But there are some other things that are not life or death, situations that you can overlook. For example, the choice of clothes. And in this case, I remember, our first daughter. A while back, I wanted her to wear a particular kind of, dress to church. But after a while, I realized that we didn't exactly have the same fashion sense. And so I had to step back and allow her to make her own choices while broadly guiding her, guiding her decision. We're able to make compromises. So, she had a choice in the kind of clothes and shoes that she wore, and we discussed it so it was okay. Or when it comes to school, maybe interest in school, and the girl tells you, I want to be on the ballet team. And you say, no, don't be on the ballet team. You're a good swimmer. Be on the swimming team, not on the ballet team. It's not a life or death circumstance. And she wants to be on the ballet team. Let her be. She can be there for a term, a year, who knows? Maybe the following session, she will, of her own volition, decide that, I think I'm better, with swimming. So those are examples that don't make all her choices for her, because if you make all the choices for her, what you are doing to her is you are taking her voice away. You don't want to do that. You want her to have a voice. So by all means, let's give them a voice. Don't let's take their voices away. We also need to be mindful. Yes, we need to be mindful of what we say, our speech around them, our words around them. This takes practice, not to speak negatively around the girl child, around our daughters. You see, we should mind our language around them. So we should not be in the habit of saying, for example, maybe to a girl who is untidy, whose room is always untidy, and you go into her room and you see that again it's untidy. You should not go into the room and say, why can't you for once tidy your room? You know, there are ways of saying that. You can just say, please tidy your room. You know your room should be tidy. But by the time you say, why can't you? Yeah, yes, yeah, you know, that's a negative thing you're passing across. Or maybe in trying to, maybe in trying to chastise that you're saying, you're always shouting, or you never, you know, you're never tidy. You never cook when you should. Yeah. So those are negative words, and as much as possible, we should not speak them around our children, because when we do, we take away their self-confidence. We replace it with self-doubt, which is the opposite of self-esteem, and that is not what we want to do. Now, I think the last thing I want to talk about here is don't take her for granted. Respect her. Yeah, she's your daughter, she's your word, she's younger than you are, but please don't take her for granted. Celebrate her little wins. Celebrate the big as well. Celebrate all. Don't say, as usual, you came first position and take it for granted. No. Even if you are used to her coming first, don't take it for granted that she always comes first. Celebrate it. Right. Celebrate it. And if she's the one that usually comes last in her class, if she moves from last position to second to the last, celebrate it. Because what that does, you know, is to encourage her that she can be better, and you will see that she will put in more effort. So please don't take them for granted.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I know you work with girls. I know you do outreaches to girls' schools. You talk with them, and then being a children's doctor, you've seen things, I can imagine. And so I just want you to paint a picture to a parent who is not taking what we're talking about seriously, who feels self-esteem is just there, she'll be fine eventually and all of that. What's the worst case scenario of a girl whose self-esteem has been tampered with, who has extremely low self-esteem, cannot question things, does not even see any value in herself? It will be a gory picture, obviously, but please paint a picture of how bad things can get if we don't pay attention to this part of raising our children.
Right. So let's look at it as a chain of events, which is actually what it is. So it starts with low self-esteem, but it can degenerate into other reactions and consequences. So follow me. Let's go step by step. So a child that has, let's go to the classroom.
Okay.
So a child that has low self-esteem is likely to look to other people for validation because she doesn't even trust or believe in herself. So she needs an extension of other people that will trust her, that will believe in her. And so she makes poor choices. She makes poor choices in friendships. She makes poor choices in girlfriends. She makes poor choices in getting entangled with the opposite sex too early. Now, and when she even does it later, maybe at the appropriate time, because she's still carrying over that low self-esteem from childhood, she can make the wrong choice because she's looking for the guy that will validate her, whether that validation at that point is genuine or not. Okay? Yeah. So if she makes the choice of having this entanglement with the other sex early, there are consequences that may result. Okay, so these consequences include teenage pregnancy. If she gets pregnant too early, you know, that's teenage pregnancy while she's 18. What happens? She may have to drop out of school. What happens? She's not able to achieve her inherent potential. She's not able to attain her highest potential. Now, if she gets married at the appropriate time or too early, you know, because of these poor choices as well, she could become a victim of domestic violence. I mean, that's one of the worst things that can happen to a girl. So at the end of the day, this girl is shortchanged because, you know, she has self-doubt, she has a lot of fear, and she's holding back. That is for the girl. Now, for the family, for the community, for the nation, and for the world, we also lose something from that girl, because remember, it is said that if you train a girl, who do you train? You are training a nation, because a girl wants to teach other people. She's going to have children and she's going to teach them. So if she attains the highest level of education, the chances are that her children are also going to attain. She's going to encourage them. She's going to give whatever it takes, to have them also attain what she has, or in many cases even higher. So if we should change that girl of that, we would have lost so much. So those are some of the things that can go wrong when we don't build self-esteem in our girls.
Fantastic. I can't even think of anything to add. All the bases have been. Thank you so much, Dr. Akinola. So finally, give us matching orders. Parents of girls, parents who have girls in their vicinity who they have access and influence over. Give us instructions going on from here forward. What must we do? How can we handle this and give the best, raise children intentionally with healthy self-esteem?
Thank you for that. Now, the first thing I'll say is that it seems like such a Herculean job, a lot of work. And the truth is that we cannot do it on our own. We can't do it on our own. So we have to ask for help from the one who knows much more than we do, the one that created them in the first instance. Because as we all know, no child, no baby ever comes with a manual. There is no user instruction, there's no user guide. So you want to ask for help from the creator. So you also want to ask for help from other people. But when I say that, I say it very cautiously, because not everybody is able to help us. They have to have been able to help themselves, and they have to have a sense of good value. They have to be people that we will look up to as mentors before we can ask for their help. Yes. While on this journey as well, we should remember that we should model good examples. So the days of do as I do, they have long gone, if they were even ever around at all. So it really is do as I say. So model good example, model self-esteem. Yeah, sometimes you have, you want to do things and you're not very confident in your ability. Share it with your children. Let them know that, I have a meeting, I have a training, I have a teaching to do, but this thing, I have to do it, but I'm not so good in it. But whatever, I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to prepare as hard as I can. I'm going to do whatever it takes, but I'm going to show up. I'm going to do it, even if I'm afraid while I'm doing it. When you do that, they see you model the value. That's the value you place on yourself. That's your own sense of self-worth. By the time they see you model that, then they don't have a choice but to also grow, in good self-esteem. Yeah. Then show this daughter that you love her, whether it's in private or in public. So don't do loving-itis at home alone. And then, exactly. Yeah. So whether you're at home or whether you're out of the home, show consistently that you love her. Show that you believe her when she's wrong and when she's right. So whether it's in season or whether it's out of season, just show her that you love her. I want to quickly share, an example here. Sometime in my university years, I remember talking with my daddy, and then we were talking about pregnancy. I shared that story in the book you mentioned earlier, our parenting book. So, and I was saying all the things I had against being pregnant in university and, all that. He stopped me and told me something. He said, yeah, I know, I feel you, but just know that mistakes happen. They can happen. But what I want you to remember is that when this mistake, if it ever happens, because you're a human being, if the mistake results in a pregnancy, please don't go to your friend. Just come home. Come home. Your mommy and I will nurture the baby, and then you can go back to school. Of course, I was shocked. But what it spelled to me was, we will always love you and be there to
Have your
help
back.
you. Yes, and have your back. So that gave me confidence. Not that I was going to go looking to make
Go
mistakes,
and get it. Okay.
but I knew that I was loved unconditionally. And I think that's one of the greatest gifts that we can give our children. Tell them, show them that you love them unconditionally. Listen to them. Let her express her views, her feelings, even when it runs contrary to your own feelings. Listen while you pray for wisdom as to how to answer or go forward. And sometimes in that instance, you actually don't need to say anything. You can share your views at a later date. So again, in our local parlance, you will listen and keep what she has said in the palm of your left hand, for use at a later date. But for that time, be the good listener that she needs you to be. We have already talked about letting her make decisions. So I would just say involve her in making decisions, small decisions, big ones, like family meals. What are we going to have for lunch? Should we have paste or should we have rice or something like that? So involve her in making family decisions. Should we have family meetings? Should we not have family meetings? Where should we have family meetings? So involve her in that decision. Now, if she happens to have younger siblings, let her be involved in raising them. Actively, I mean, not just passively because she's the firstborn or because she has younger. Let her know that she's responsible for them. So at this point, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. When I complained of my younger brother's attitude, my younger brother that happens to be your husband, when I complained of his attitude a long time ago, he must have been maybe 5 years old or 6 years old at that time or something. But really quite young. You know what your mom told me, your mother-in-law, she said to me, she looked at me and I could see that she felt it, because she actually said it with tears in her eyes. And for my mom, who was a very strong woman, I actually felt this thing that can move you to tears is heavy. And she said to me, she said, no, we are raising him together. It's not just me raising him. We are raising him together. You are his second mom. So what did she do? You see, as a young girl myself at the time, she gave me permission to mother him. She gave me a responsibility. She added value to my own value. She improved my own sense of self-worth. So I think that is the last story I will share with you. And I think I've come to, there's so much more. I think finally I want to encourage us to read books. Read a lot of books on parenting. You can't know it all and nobody knows it all. And when there are conferences, where there are seminars, when there are learning engagements such as this one, learn from everybody. Learn from everybody. And that way we'll all get better.
Thank you so much, sis. Thank you. I'm so grateful. I appreciate your time. I know it is so valuable.
Thank you.
You have given us quite a lot of time. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for sharing with us. Thank you. Thank you. And we pray for you in your journey and as a mom of girls. And I want to say it in English, but let me just say the one I understand. Let there not be calamity on this life. It's your margin of me there. Those children that you have labored over, that you have intentionally raised, they would yield in manifold folds for you. By God's grace.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone who has joined us this evening, and thank you for watching. The replay will be on my page, so please follow, like, but more importantly, listen. Listen so that it can help you. It can help you make changes right now when they're early. Remember, I'm an advocate for for the law of time perspective in raising our children. So take the longer distance, the longer time into consideration. See the fully grown 30-year-old child, 30-year-old son, 30-year-old daughter that you have, and think of the values that they would need to have at that age and teach them now. That is my my clarion call to you. And so you be a better person so that you can model good behavior, like you heard our guest say. Model good behavior, be an example. Do as I say is not going to work. It didn't work on us. And then our children are smarter. I'm telling you, they are smarter, they are different. Their generation is different. Their brain wiring is different. They're not going to fall for that our shakara type of parenting that we endured. So that's my encouragement to you. God help you in your journey. It's important. We are delivering the future. So what we're doing as parents is important. It is so important to our entire world. The mistakes that we make is going to cost an entire generation, and we will not make mistakes in Jesus. Thank you again for watching this evening. I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.